Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn about the topic animal tissues. Right. Let us see some of the basic introduction points in the animal tissues. Before going to the multicellular animals, let us see what about the unicellular animals or acellular animals. For example, if we see in unicellular animals, so in unicellular or acellular animals, all the functions of the body of like digestion, respiration, excretion, reproduction. Right. So in acellular animals, the functions like digestion, respiration, excretion, and reproduction are carried out by single cell. Right? All these functions are carried out by single cell. So as they are unicellular animals, within the same cell, all these functions are carried out. Then what about multicellular animals? In multicellular animals, these functions, like what? The digestion, respiration, excretion, reproduction. These functions are carried out by different group of cells. Right? These functions are carried out by different group of cells called as tissues. Called as tissues. Then what is the definition of a tissue? Tissues means group of similar cells. The tissues are group of similar cells with similar function and same embryonic origin. You understand that? So a group of similar cells which are performing similar function and which are arising from the same embryonic origin are called as tissues. These are called as tissues. Then who coined the term tissue? The term tissue was coined by Bichette. The term tissue was coined by a scientist called as Bichette. Then what is the study of tissues is called as what? Study of tissues is called as histology or microanatomy. The study of tissues is called as histology or microanatomy. So the tissue consists of what? Tissues are composed of cells plus extracellular matrix. So if the tissues are composed of cells and extracellular matrix. Okay, let us see how many basic types of tissues are there. In human body, how many types of tissues are there? Right. If you see the animal tissues, the animal tissues are tissues present in man are broadly classified into four basic types. The first one is epithelial tissue. The second one is connective tissue. The third one is muscular tissue. And the fourth one is neural tissue. Okay. There are four basic types of tissues in man or in human being or in animals, right? In multicellular animals, the epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. Let us see the first one, epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. So, what is epithelial tissue? Epithelial tissue are tightly packed cells. See here, the epithelial tissue are tightly packed cells like this. They are packed tightly with each other without much material in between these two cells. That means the epithelial tissue are tightly packed cells with small amount of or with little amount of intercellular matrix. So in between these two cells, the substance present is very little, or sometimes the substance is absent also. We can say that the epithelial tissues are tightly packed cells without any or without much material. I am using the word much material. That means very little quantity of material is present between these two cells. Right? So epithelial tissues are derived from right. So the epithelial tissues are derived from the any of the three embryonic germ layers. That means they may originate from ectoderm, they may originate from mesoderm, they may originate from endoderm. So epithelial tissues can arise from any of the three embryonic germ layers. Any of the three embryonic germ layers. Let us see where the epithelial tissue lies. The epithelial tissue lies on the basement membrane like this. Okay. So this is the basement membrane. Remember this one. This one is the basement membrane. So this basement membrane separates the epithelial tissue with the underlying tissues. Most probably the underlying tissues are nothing but they are the connective tissues. Right? So the epithelial tissue lies on the basement membrane. So what is the basement membrane is formed by what? The basement membrane consists of basal lamina. This basal lamina is formed by epithelial cells itself, and it also consists of reticular lamina. The reticular lamina is secreted by underlying connective tissues. Right? The epithelial tissues lies on the basement membrane. This basement membrane is separating the epithelial tissue with the underlying connective tissue. So the basement membrane is formed by, or the basement membrane consists of basal lamina and reticular lamina. Basal lamina is produced or secreted by epithelial cells itself. Reticular lamina is produced by connective tissues. And epithelial tissues are avascular. Very important word. Avascular. That means the epithelial tissues are not supplied with blood vessels. So the blood vessels are absent. Here the vascular means wherever you get the word vascular, it relates to the blood vessels. So when the blood supply is absent to the epithelial tissues, then how they get the nourishment? The epithelial tissues gets their nourishment from underlying tissues by a process called as diffusion. Remember that. So the epithelial tissues are deriving their nourishment. They are getting their food from the underlying connective tissues by a process called as diffusion. Right. So where these epithelial tissues are present, how these epithelial tissues are classified. Let us see that one now. Right. So where it is present means epithelial tissue forms right. So the epithelial tissue forms the covering of external surface, simply or epidermis. So it lines the skin. The upper layer of the skin, epidermis, is formed by epithelial tissue, right? Then it also forms the lining of cavities like pericardial cavity, pleural cavity, and peritoneal cavity. Or this epithelium lines the pericardium, epithelium lines the pleura, epithelium lines the peritoneum. So pericardium is present lining the heart, pleura lines the lungs, and peritoneum is nothing but it is the abdominal cavity. Then it also lines the ducts that communicate to exterior. So it also lines the ducts that are communicating to exterior. What are the ducts that are present in our body that are communicating to the exterior? Means they are the respiratory ducts, right? Urinogenital ducts, the respiratory ducts, urinogenital ducts. So that also lines the ducts that are communicating to the exterior, like respiratory ducts, like means like trachea, bronchioles, right? Then also urinogenital ducts, and also gastrointestinal tract or gastrointestinal tract. That means the alimentary canal, right? So it lines the ducts that are communicating to the exterior. Then what is the function of the epithelial tissues? If you take the functions, so here we can see external surface. That means they lines the skin. They lines the external surface of the body like skin. That means the function might be their protection. Okay, protection. Then the function might be in the urinogenital, sorry, in the GI tract, there might be secretion, absorption, diffusion, and also we can use the word sensory, right? Sensory means the epithelium that lines the buccal cavity tongue is sensory in function, right? The epithelium that lines the nasal epithelium is olfactory in function. That means the epithelium is also involved in the sense of smell and sense of taste. So this is the introduction part of the epithelial tissues. Now let us go for the types of epithelium. Now we are going for the types of epithelium. Remember one word, that epithelium is classified into two types based on the number of cells. First one is number of cells. After that, shape of cell. Okay. So epithelial tissues are broadly classified into two types. They are classified into two types. One is the simple epithelium. The second one is compound epithelium. Okay. So first one is simple epithelium. Second one is compound epithelium. What is simple epithelium? In simple epithelium, there are single layer of cells. If the cells are present in single layer, we call this one as simple epithelium. Then what is meant by compound epithelium? If the cells are present in more than two layers. That means if the cells are present in two or more layers, we call this one as compound epithelium. Then based on the shape of the cells, again the epithelium is classified into different types. Let us see the shape of cells. Right. This is the nucleus. If the cells are flat like this, if the cells are flat, it is called as squamous epithelium. Flat cells. That means based on the shape of the cells, we are classifying the epithelium into three types. One is the squamous epithelium. Let us see the second one. If the cells are like this, then we call this one as cuboidal epithelium. If the cells are cube shaped, we call that one as cuboidal epithelium. If the cells are long, tall, like this, the cells are tall, like a columns, or tall, like pillar. Right? We call this one as columnar epithelium. Okay? We call this one as columnar epithelium. I hope you understood the why we classified the epithelium like this. So the epithelium is classified based on the shape of the cell. So if you remove this one, the flat cells, so for simple diagram, if you go with the flat cells simply you can draw like this also. They are flat. Right? They are flat. So if they look like this, then we call this one as simple squamous epithelium. Or we simply call as squamous epithelium. If they are present in single layer, we call that one as simple squamous. Now let us go each and every epithelium where they are present. What is the shape of nucleus, like that. Right. Let us see the first one. Simple squamous epithelium. Right, if you see, right. So if you see this epithelium, cells of this epithelium are flat and looks like a tile. So if you see the epithelium, it looks like flat tile-like. So due to its appearance, we call this one, this epithelium also as pavement epithelium or tessellated epithelium. Right? So in simple squamous epithelium, the cells are flat with irregular boundaries. Flat and irregular boundaries. And they look like tiles. So it is called as pavement epithelium or tessellated epithelium. Right? Tessellated epithelium. Then if you see the nucleus is oval in shape and lies in the center. Right? The nucleus is oval and centrally located. Centrally located. Then where the simple squamous epithelium is present? The simple squamous epithelium lines the alveoli of lungs. Okay, it lines the alveoli of lungs. It lines the Bowman's capsule. It is present as endothelium of blood vessels. Right? It is present as endothelium of blood vessels. It is present as mesothelium, which lines the pericardium. That means the epithelium that is lining the pericardium, pleura, and peritoneum is called as mesothelium. Mesothelium is nothing but it is simple squamous epithelium. Endothelium is also simple squamous epithelium. Based upon their location, we are calling this one their names. So endothelium is a simple squamous epithelium that lines the wall of blood vessels, inner surface of the blood vessels. Mesothelium is a simple squamous epithelium that lines the pericardium, pleura, and peritoneum. Right? So this is about the simple squamous epithelium. Let us go for the next one, simple cuboidal epithelium. Right, we go for the next one, simple cuboidal epithelium. So you know that cells of this epithelium are cube shaped like this. Right? The cells of this epithelium are cube shaped. Then if you see the nucleus is spherical and centrally located. So the nucleus is spherical in shape. It is present in the center. Then where it is present? It lines what? The simple cuboidal epithelium lines the germinal epithelium of ovary And in the kidney, it lines the PCT of nephron, that is the proximal convoluted tubule, and DCT of nephron, that is distal convoluted tubule. Right. The simple cuboidal epithelium that lines the PCT of nephron, the apical part of this epithelium consists of microvilli like this. Small projections on the surface of the cell. These are called as microvilli. Right? Microvilli. So due to presence of microvilli, the epithelium gets a brush border appearance. So it is getting what? Brush border. Brush border appearance. What is the use of this microvilli? Microvilli increase the surface area of the absorption. Right? You remember that. Microvilli increases the surface area of the absorption. So wherever microvilli is present, there you can remember that it is having brush border and it increases the surface area of absorption. Right? So this completes about the simple cuboidal epithelium. Now let us go for the next one. Simple columnar. Right? Next one is simple columnar epithelium. Then if you see the cells of this epithelium, the cells of this epithelium are tall, slender and pillar-like. All the cells lies on the basement membrane. Right. The epithelium is tall, slender and pillar-like. Then if you see the nucleus is oval and lies at the center. The nucleus is oval in shape. It is present at the base of the cell. So this is the base of the cell. This is the apex of the cell. Okay. And this epithelium is of two types again. That is ciliated. Simple columnar ciliated epithelium. So what is the definition of simple columnar ciliated epithelium? Means this epithelium, the apical part of the epithelium consists of cilia. The cilia are present like this. If the cilia are present on the apex or the apical part of epithelium, we call this one as simple columnar ciliated epithelium. Where the simple columnar epithelium is present, the simple columnar ciliated epithelium lines the hollow tubes like fallopian tube, bronchioles. And one more thing you have to remember, that in simple columnar epithelium, in between this epithelium there are mucus secreting goblet cells. Right? In between the epithelium there will be mucus secreting goblet cells. The mucus secreting goblet cells are present in between the simple columnar epithelium. The goblet cells secrete the mucus. Okay? In simple ciliated columnar epithelium lines the hollow tubules like fallopian tubes, bronchioles. Right? Then simple columnar non-ciliated epithelium. Simple columnar non-ciliated epithelium lines the stomach and intestine. Lines the stomach and intestine. So this non-ciliated epithelium which lines the intestine is having microvilli. Is having microvilli. Right? So due to presence of microvilli, it gets a brush border appearance. What is the use of the microvilli? Means the microvilli increase the surface area of absorption in the intestine. So what is the use of the simple ciliated simple columnar epithelium in the stomach? Means it is involved in the secretion. So as it lines the wall of stomach, the simple columnar non-ciliated epithelium secretes the enzymes. Then when it is lining the intestine, it is involved in the absorption. right? So this completes about the types of simple columnar epithelium. Now let us go for the next one, compound epithelium. Right, next one we go for compound epithelium. It is also called as stratified epithelium. Okay, compound epithelium is otherwise called as stratified epithelium. What is the definition of this one? That means the cells are present in either two layers or more than two layers. Right? What is the function of stratified epithelium means? So the function is protection from chemicals and mechanical stress. Right? So simple, the compound epithelium is present in more than two layers. Its function is protection and protection from chemicals and mechanical stress. Then how many types are there? Generally, if you see here, the simple column, the cuboidal epithelium, the compound epithelium is present in more than 2 to 4 layers like this. It is present in layers. Okay. Then how you define the name of this epithelium? The apical surface of cell, depending upon the apical shape of the apical surface of cell, it is named as, it got the name. Simply can say that if the apical surface of cells are flat like this, we call this one as stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. So generally in stratified epithelium, the cells are present in layers. If the cells are present in layers, then if the apical surface of the cell is having, it looks like a flat cell, then we call that one as stratified squamous epithelium. And this stratified squamous epithelium is of two types. Again, so stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. So what is meant by stratified squamous keratinized epithelium? Simple. The cells are present in layers like this. The upper surface of the cells become flat. Okay. And they are having a oval nucleus in the cell, the center. So we call that one as stratified squamous. Then some cells are present. Some flat cells are present above this epithelium. Right, like this. And in this epithelium, the nucleus is offset. Instead of nucleus, they consist of a protein called as keratin. Okay, the apical surface of cells become flat and accumulate a protein called as keratin. So due to presence of keratin, we call this one as stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Or it is also called as a stratocorneum. It is also called as stratocorneum. Where this stratified squamous keratinized epithelium is present. The stratified squamous keratinized epithelium lines the dry surfaces of the skin. Right? Otherwise, you use the word stratocorneum. Where the stratocorneum is present means on the dry surfaces of the skin. Like this is the stratocorneum. The upper surface of the skin epidermis. Right? So, remember this one. This is very important. Next one, stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. In stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, you can see here, simply I am removing the keratin layer. The upper surface of cell become flat like this. Okay, the upper surface of cell is becoming flat and consists of a centrally located oval nucleus. So in stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium is present where? It lines the wet surfaces of the body. Like buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, vagina. So buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus and vagina. So this is about stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Now let us go for the remaining ones. So next one is stratified cuboidal epithelium. So as I said earlier, the cells are present in 2 or more layers like this. But the upper layer of cells are cube shaped. If the upper layer of cells are cube shaped, we call this one as stratified cuboidal epithelium. Where it is present? It lines the salivary ducts. The stratified cuboidal epithelium lines the salivary ducts, pancreatic ducts, and ducts of sweat gland. Okay, the stratified cuboidal epithelium lines the salivary ducts, pancreatic ducts, and ducts of sweat glands. So next one is transitional epithelium. So it's a very important one, transitional epithelium. So this epithelium you see here, this epithelium is having different shapes. And present in 4 to 5 layers. This epithelium is present in 4 to 5 layers. Right? So where it lines? It lines the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. And in this epithelium there is a special character. When the urinary bladder is accumulated with urine, the urinary bladder stretches. It is stretching like this. When the urinary bladder is stretching, the number of cell layers seems to be decreased. Okay? When the urinary bladder is stretching like this, the number of cell layers seems to be decreased. But after the urination or after the micturition, when the urinary bladder becomes empty and it becomes to normal shape, then the number of cell layers seems to be increasing. So this is one of the important character, you have to remember that. So transitional epithelium lines the urinary bladder. So this completes about the stratified epithelium, and there is one more epithelium which is called as pseudo-stratified epithelium. We will see that one also. Right, we go for the next one. Pseudo-stratified epithelium. So in the pseudo-stratified epithelium, if you see here, the cells, all the cells lies on the basement membrane. Right. All the cells lies on the basement membrane. Right. But some cells are tall and some cells are short. Some cells are reaching the apex. Some cells are not reaching the apical part. But all the cells are present on the basement membrane. All the cells are present in single layer. Due to presence of nuclei at different levels, it looks like stratified. It looks like it is present in 2 layers. So we call this one as pseudo-stratified epithelium. That means false stratification. Okay, and pseudo-stratified epithelium is also 2 types. If the pseudo-stratified epithelium consists of cilia like this, the cilia are present, We call that one as pseudostratified ciliated epithelium. The pseudostratified ciliated epithelium along with the goblet cells lines the trachea. It lines the trachea. Okay, remember that one. And pseudostratified non-ciliated. This is non-ciliated. So pseudostratified ciliated epithelium lines the trachea, and pseudostratified non-ciliated epithelium lines the epididymis. Epididymis, it is present in the male reproductive system in the testis. Okay, this completes about the types of epithelium. Still we have cell junctions and also glandular epithelium. We will discuss in the next video. Right? Thank you very much.